This is footage of Nate Friedman walking through the streets of New York City, where there are Muslims all across praying with the prayer call actually out loud. And it looks like that they have really worked on conquering New York City. And I can tell you, as a Bostonian, as somebody who has spent time in New York City growing up, it is a little weird seeing footage like this. Something that you would have never expected, ever.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Tell me about what's going on here today.
So today we do this every year, and it is called Tarawih in Times Square. So Ramadan has entered for the Muslims, and Tarawih is a prayer that we pray every night. And so today the main purpose is just to show everyone what that looks like, to show people and teach people what Islam really is about, what the Quran actually says, rather than the things that are being shown in left and right in the media and whatever have you. So it's about clarity. It's about building a community and things of that nature.
And have you organized it personally? Are you with is it with a
The
company?
organizer is my brother.
Who's seen those videos where they're like, oh my God, the Muslims are taking over New York City? You seen those? You seen those? Let them know that we are taking over New York City.
One of the misconceptions that is very common is that it's a religion of violence.
Yes.
And that its followers are people of violence, when actually the Quran talks about mercy repeatedly, far more than any book and revelation prior.
I don't speak Arabic, so when I'm reading on the Quran.com. There's 10 translations. One says one thing, one says another one. One of them is like, if your wife is disobeying you, you can strike her lightly or beat her. Is it strike her lightly? Is it beat her? What context is there? Because I imagine that you don't support that.
No. Okay. So let me explain to you what that is. Are you married?
I'm not.
Okay. You have a girlfriend?
I hope to be one day.
You have a girlfriend?
I don't.
Okay. So when it says you can beat your wife or you can strike your husband, strike your wife lightly. First of all, it's not something that puts the woman down or things of that nature. And it's the harm. If harm is supposed to come from it, right? Let me give you an example. Hold on.
Yeah.
I want to make it very clear.
Absolutely.
Give me a sec.
Absolutely.
Give me a sec.
Yes.
So something in Islam is that we are not allowed to strike one another in the face. Okay. And when it does say the word that is used in Arabic, right?
Yeah.
In context, it makes no sense. If we are not allowed to bring bodily harm to someone, then in what sense does it make for me to be able to discipline my wife from a place of harming my wife?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
So why does it write it then? Because I'm saying basically, my understanding is that Muslims follow the Quran. And if the Quran says it's okay to beat up your wife, then I don't know.
It doesn't say to beat up your wife. What it says is, I'll give you an example.
Yes, please.
Literally,
Please.
this is what it's saying.
Yes.
As the final resort. Okay. Because when you say the hitting portion, it's, I believe, the third course of action after two far lighter things, right?
Correct.
Now imagine this is the final one.
Yes.
Like a friendly tap, like, yo, check yourself a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And then if this is the worst, if this is the worst that is said to discipline someone, for lack of better words, then what can you say about a religion like that?
That was an interesting answer to the question. I'll be honest, I had a difficult time following where that was going. I think we often resort to the books, to justify certain things and behaviors when it comes to religious ideologies and beliefs. What I like to resort to is practicality, like the real life experience. I've found it both eye-opening and somewhat disturbing with the amount of former Muslims that I've gotten to speak with over the past few years on the internet, as well as those in real life, like Apostate, who have told us stories and testimonies of the abusive nature within relationship dynamic in Islam, with the abusive, aggressive approach to oppressing the woman on the male's behalf within Islam. I have seen some of this myself I've never really commented too much on it because it didn't feel comfortable in a space that, as somebody as a non-Muslim coming in. But I guess I'm saying that because, excuse me, that real life data I think is really important if we're going to look at, not to compare religions, but I think experiences are truly what do matter. And it feels to me that when Muslims are approached with this kind of a question, it does not seem like, I've always felt that there's a very clear, understood response that seems okay. And even if it is written in the book, it's clearly like our interpretations in 2026 have differed so much through the variation of belief systems, oral history, and how people see things. Again, another reason for me to just look at the practical real world today. Like, you can say there's an abusive nature. Like one, if they wanted to, could make the claim that there's an abusive nature written in the Talmud for how Jews should be treating a specific demographic, but the on the ground reality not just represents a tribe of peace and love, the majority. There are minorities that don't represent, but the majority. Not just that, like the other part that's really important is hearing other people talk about Jews. Like that is very important information when you go around the world and you have a lot of people who say, I love my Jewish friends, I love my Jewish brothers, I love my Jewish sisters. Look at the Christian community and a lot of the church, not all of it, have been talking about their their incredible connection to. And again, like I'm keeping Israel out of this because like this is simply a by the book religion thing. And I look at today, it's like abusive nature, even within the Jewish community, is not tolerated. It's not encouraged. It occurs because there's no such thing as perfection, but the scale is what really matters. I always talk about looking at majority behavior and minority behavior. Majority behavior, whether it agrees with you or not, is going to tell you what the majority, more than half of a particular group of people, of a particular behavior, of a particular action, but it will give you a general representation of the majority that takes part in something, which means that there is more truth held to that than that of the minority, which is a silent, a loud minority. Yeah? There's a loud minority of people that make noise, but that does not represent the majority. It's like what I say about people who hate Israel. There's a loud minority, it's not the majority. So you go around the world and you hear a lot of people talk about what it is like to be in the relationship dynamic between man and woman in a Muslim house. Why is it that a lot of the time, the majority of the time, I hear non-peaceful things about it? That to me is what data shows. It's pretty eye-opening if you ask me. Thank you so much for all of your support. Here's a note from me. Here are 4 ways you can help us grow if you believe in our mission. On Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal, you can directly contribute to helping this message grow and reach more people across the world. If you want to join the inner circle, join our Patreon with different tiers, and of course, our Discord community, which is free with people from all across the world. The links to every single one are in the description. And last but not least, to the other Brock community, I love you. Ani ohev otchem. I'll see you guys next time.